Let's make a Saturn box today. Welcome, by the way. This is a Saturn box. It is a round box and it has the bark included. You can't take it off and it spins around.
Nice.
This is one of the famous pieces Hans Wijsvloek, one of the best turners in the world, artistic turners in the world, made. He made it on my open days some time ago. And I've never made one before, so it's going to be quite challenging for me to make one in this video. I now know already that it's not going to be as perfect as that Hans makes them. And this little thing, of course, starts with a block of wood. It's boxwood, by the way. It is very dense wood. It's great stuff to work with. It is brilliant for doing screw threads and all kinds of small work. If you look at the growth rings, this piece is probably over 100 years old. I didn't count the growth rings, but it's this diameter and it was a very old tree. Well, we don't need much of it, of course. This is about between 5 and 6 centimeters. So if I want to have a tenon for both parts, I'd say 7 centimeters is enough. So I'm gonna mark 7 centimeters and take this piece to the bandsaw and cut it. Here's a piece. I mark the middle by I. Well, I don't mark, I mark with an owl, of course, but I'm going to make this ball, this sphere, approximately 53, 54 millimeters. First, I'm going to make a small tenon on both sides of the boxwood. There we go. And we do the same on the other side. Okay, now we're going to make roughly a cylinder of it and leave the rings around Saturnus and leave them there. Let me use a bigger tool because this doesn't. As you see, boxwood is very suitable for scraping. Normally you'd say I'm cutting and not scraping because it gives me a better surface, but in case of the boxwood you see it has hardly torn out fibers. That is of course also the reason why you can get screw threads so well in the boxwood. Let's do some measuring. The sphere is to be 54 millimeters. So I need at least 27 millimeters over here, meaning I need a bit more space here. That'll do for a start. So I have my tenon here, so I can cut this, part this off now. I will part this off, but first I will put this in a chuck. It's a very old chuck with normal straight jaws that we use, and I use it quite a lot actually. Also for making pepper mills. Small tenon. And we part it off. So this one we'll put apart for a minute, and then we will hollow this one and get it roughly into shape.
By the way, you can see it's an early day for you because of your hair.
What's with my hair?
Your hair is, sort of speak, everywhere. Don't mention the hair.
Why is always everybody mentioning my hair? Underneath one of the comments in one of my videos, someone wrote in capitals, "Comb your hair."
Looks great.
Yeah, thank you. Love you too. You see now I can't turn anymore.
Sorry.
I said already what the outer dimensions will be, so I cut myself a little piece of carton to match the outside, and it gives a 3 millimeter thick wall thickness. So if this one fits in,
then we're good.
Then we're good. Okay, that's it. Okay. Let me see if I can make one more cut, or that I have to stop already. It's okay like this. There's the first half of the sphere, and the rest of the curve I'll do when it is mounted on the other half. So I'll put this aside now and put the other half in. I think Hans Weisflog does this on a complete different way, but if you don't know him, search for pictures of his work on the internet. It is stunning. There we go again. Now I need a bit more space here because I want to have the wall a little bit thicker over there. So I will need a piece of need a pair of scissors. Cut something away here. And use this to get it in. There we go. That's okay already. And I have to go in a little bit deeper. These now are very light scraping cuts. Sand it with a little bit of 240 and 320 paper. A lovely boxwood will immediately give you a stunning surface. Okay, so I've done the inside of the half sphere, and now I take the other half, and it has to fit on here. So first I'll make a little rim where this one slides over. Get some speed. Let's do some measurements. This one over here, 47.5. And over here, it is a bit wider. That's good, because I wanted to take something more off. It is over here, it's 49, so I have to lose 1.5 millimeter. I can do that. Get nervous. And now I lose this 1.5 mils. Let's try this one back on and make this round. So I need quite a...
Oh.
Whoa. How do we call that, Lise?
Snug fit.
A snug fit, yeah.
Alrighty.
Let's see. I can't take heavy cuts, of course. I bet you understand that. Because everything you hear, it's a bit...
It's moving.
Yeah, it's not that tight. It's not in a chuck. It's actually just held together by friction. I have to lose some here to make it a good sphere. The rest we'll do by sanding, I think. Now we have to, of course, make this. I didn't do very well on the cutting, so I have to sand it definitely. With my sanding jig, you see, I have the diameter of the sphere in here. Just put a bit of sandpaper in my jig. And there we go. Trunk back in. 240 sandpaper. Next one, 320. Bit of work on the edges. Good. I have to make the other half of the sphere on this side of the Saturn ring. So what I'll do first is cut this loose, and to cut this ring loose I have to match up these two diameters. This one is just a little bit smaller than over here, so I'll first make it a bit smaller on that side. What I would like to do now is make this more, just even a little bit more thinner than it is now. We're making two cuts to cut it loose, and we're making these two cuts in this corner 2 times 45 degrees, and they match up somewhere here before before I'm inside of the box, of course. That's where they have to match up. So how thicker this ring is, the deeper the 45 degree cut will end in the wood. Plop. So I'm going to try and get it a bit thinner. That'll do. Shrunk back in. And now you have to come closer, Lise, because what we're now going to do is try to make a close-up of this.
Oh my word. Oh, it looks like...
It's almost a needle.
Yes.
It's an old... It was produced for a long time. These gouges were produced in the Netherlands, but they look quite different. This was actually a sort of a spindle gouge. But I grained most of the metal away until I was left with a very, very, very thin parting tool. And with this thin parting tool, we're going to make two cuts. One here, 45 degrees, and one here in 45 degrees. And the aim is not to come inside the box with this parting tool. Oh. I do that very delicate, step by step. Probably I'll have to switch with my tool rest several times. I'm waiting now for the moment that these two cuts meet each other. There he was already. Did you see that, Lies?
I could hear it.
It's loose and it can't get off.
Wow. That's really
That's
cool.
nice, eh? Boy, am I happy that I didn't break it. Now we have to make the other half of the sphere over here. I'll grab myself another chuck. Very light pressure, of course, because it's only a thin rim. And we'll start making the other half of the sphere, putting my tailstock back in, because I don't want it to fly away. Also just light pressure. Pretty close already. Time to put the tailstock away. Although there's still a bump here. And as you can see, my spindle gouge is not that sharp anymore. There's a bit of a bump over there, so I'll be sanding a bit longer, I think. I'm afraid. And the final moment. Boy, am I glad that this succeeded. So once again, a big shout out to Hans Weisvloek. You must see his work. Find it on the internet, or even better, get a look at it. For real, it is stunning work.
Fly me to the moon.
And back, honey. Yeah, cool. So, that's the Saturn Box. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.